Hello, welcome to the radio room. Just wanted to make a quick video for a follow-up from my last video on the Kenwood TS 430S that had been living its entire life down in Emergency Operations Center and probably has very little time on it. If you remember from the last video, it did have a couple little problems. It had a really high output on power, and you couldn't hardly tune the thing, especially after it had been on for a couple of minutes. You just turn the knob, and I think you could go up, kind of. It was next to impossible to get it to come back down. So, just wanted to do a little follow-up on the radio and kind of show you it on and how it's working. One of the first things I did, just because it was going to make it easier to work on the radio, was I did go ahead and straighten out the problem with the VFO encoder. That just took basically an alignment on it, which is kind of an interesting procedure to do. You obviously have to get inside the radio. I had the front panel, actually I had the front cover off of it. I was cleaning some stuff up and cleaning some of these controls up in here. Some of the potentiometers, so I had everything kind of pulled loose, and so I could kind of pull these out and get to them a little bit easier. While I was in there, of course, I had the whole front face leaning down, basically like that, which let me access the adjust alignment points for the VFO encoder, and it took a team effort. I had my wife and my daughter out here helping me to do it because, well, I was out of hands. I had to hold a drill. I had taken the knob off, and I was using the drill to turn the knob at a fairly regular speed. I had to be able to hold the drill, hold an adjustment tool, which in this case just had to be a small screwdriver, and where I needed to test, the test point I needed to go off of, it was easier just to use a regular oscilloscope probe, but instead of hooking it on a wire, I was just touching a point. So my wife was the camera operator while I recorded a little bit of me doing this, and my daughter was the expert oscilloscope probe technician. And I'll probably, we did record that. I'll probably just slide it in about right here to let you kind of see how that kind of went down. All right, so we're adjusting the VFO here. I'm gonna get this so it's a little bit easier to read. I'm using a drill to turn the deal, and we'll make the adjustment. See how I'm changing the duty cycle there? Got Kylie holding the oscilloscope probe on the connection, and see, we're just a little off right there. You are showing the scope, right, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I want the highs and to match the bottoms. Just pretty close right there, and then I go to the other direction. Pretty close. Okay, kindly move to the next one. And we are pretty good on that one too. That would be the other adjustment in here. And that's pretty close. So. And we also had to, like I said, cleaned up this. The volume, if you remember last time, was a little scratchy when I turned it on. And I did reset the power output. In fact, I did go through a good portion of the alignment for this radio. And to tell you the truth, everything was fairly close on. I did tweak a couple of things a little bit here and there. The VCO voltages, there was one that was to tell you the truth, technically none of them were out of spec. They were all within plus or minus zero point 0.1 volts. I did tweak them just to get them dead on, but that was with my meter, my VOM. They were within specification. I did tweak them. If I used another VOM, they might be slightly off, but as long as, you know, it was just, I was there. I did go through and do that. Let's see, what else did I do? I cleaned all the front pots. Then I had to do the adjustment, the power output voltage adjustment, which is also a potentiometer on the ALC. I did clean that one as well, just thinking that maybe it had gotten some corrosion. The thing's probably, that potentiometer's probably not moved since this radio was made sometime in the 80s. So I did clean it, moved it around a little bit, then set the power output to 95 watts, which is what the manual does specify. Also check the reference oscillator. It is dead on 36 megahertz now. It was close, but it wasn't within specification, so I did put it right on. Made sure the RIT was centered right. Made sure the IF shift was centered like it's supposed to be. Went through all the voltage controlled oscillators, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and D. And did do a relay clean for the filter board. That's what the you basically take a really good size resistor. In this case, I think it's 30 ohm, 25 watt resistor. You run 12 volts through it, and you keep it right around or just a little under a half of amp, and you stick it in through the antenna connector while you're got your 1 megahertz pressed, and you're just holding down the band switch button, so it constantly cycles through all the bands, and you can hear the relays click in. And as it's going through there, putting that little bit of current through there, it helps clean the oxidation off of those, because these radios do not have a wetting current on those relays. So you put a little current through them, burns off the oxidation, and gets them cleaned up. And that was pretty much what I did. And then I did do a couple on-air tests with a local ham radio operator. Lower sideband, upper sideband. We even went over to AM and checked that down on 75 meters. So let's go ahead and turn it on. I got it into a dummy load right now, and I'll show you that where the power output is now. This is a little simpler setup just for doing this video. I'm just gonna have it into a dummy load, and then we'll probably listen to some stations on air. So turn the power supply on. See if we can get a little volume. Turn the squelch down, would probably help. So we do have some volume. Of course, there's not really going to be any signals, but the VFO does move up smoothly, and it comes right back down. And from that part I put in the video earlier, you'll kind of see what that entailed. I didn't really go through the procedure in detail, just kind of showed you doing it, or showed me doing it. In fact, I'd already adjusted it somewhat before I even pulled my wife in here and daughter and asked them to help me out. In fact, to begin with, my wife was the one as the oscilloscope probe technician. And I'll show you, if you look back at that portion of the video, you'll see that it had a nice, fairly even up and down square wave. When I first hooked up to this, it had little blips as the positive portion of that square wave, so it was really narrow and then really wide. The duty cycle was very, very, very low, and that was what was making it hard to make it come down, because it couldn't figure out what was going on as far as the knob turning. So while we're in a dummy load, we're just down on 75 meters right now. I'll go over to CW, and 95 watts. I'm not sure you guys can read the meter, but it's going to be this broad line right here would be 100 watts. Right there. So it's going to come up there just shy of that at full power. I'll start with 0 and then I'll just ease it up. So right there, about, I think I was pointing at the wrong line. So that's the 100 watts right there. And the ALC kicks in and limits it to that. So we're good on that. We'll go ahead and move over to an antenna real quick. Just flip a switch and and you can see we do have good receive now.
There, they think back to the other cars, I like to do that heartbeat. And this point system that they're doing.
I think I got a loose antenna connection.
I understand the winner. This is, I'll get you only the top 4 point winners for next week.
There we go.
Something like that. They're in the
Attenuate's working. Notch is working. Sounds like my antenna switch. I just pulled one out of storage that I had. It's a little dirty. I'll clean that up, work that a little bit. This is the first time it's probably been used in years. IF shift's working nice.
Thanks, Tammy. You have a blessed night too, AF and IWM.
Step works nice.
17 is there. 17 off Delta. 17 is there. Thank you. Then, my short is real ugly here. W84 is on line 3. 11 to Quebec, India, Lima. Go ahead, Kenny. Take 2. Thank you very much. Your reminder, we'll get started. This is Kenwood TS, next Trophy Test 9, 39 Southwest on stage. That wheel through it, John. Is Sterling going to go down there also? Like a letter T.
So it seems to be working pretty good. I don't know if there's any. Anything up on 20 this late at night. Probably a little late at night for that.
Animals and stuff in the shoes. You know, some of the stuff I do, I'll read a picture in it and email it to my
Yeah, it does not have the narrow filters in it.
But anyway, I'll tell you later.
So I just wanted to get in here and show y'all the radio working. Particularly, this was the biggest problem it had, was the VFO. And when I got in there, like I said, most of the alignment, I did super glue the band back together, and unfortunately it did slip just a little bit right as the glue was setting up. So that didn't come out quite as pretty as I wanted it to. It's got a little bit of a bump there. But it looks like it's going to work. And you know what? To tell you the truth, I don't think the thing's got a whole lot of miles on it. A whole lot of hours or anything on it. It I think mostly sat most of its life. It's the club's radio. If they decide to, we might maybe do a recap on it or something. It's probably a close to 40-year-old radio. So, or probably, it might actually be a 40-year-old radio. I'm pretty sure it is, because, let's see, that would be 85. So it's probably pretty close. I didn't see any swelling electrolytics in there or anything like that, but you never know. It might need them, but it seems like it's working good. So, thanks for stopping by the radio room. Just wanted to give you a follow-up from the last video where the thing had a few gremlins in it.
We're gonna jack you up and take all your money. Yeah, I've never had that happen.
So, thanks for stopping by the radio room. We'll catch you next time.